Earlier today, a piece of news moved an entire town. A 73-year-old woman, active, full of life, with no serious health issues, collapsed to the floor right after getting out of bed. No warning, no prior symptoms, no sign that anything was wrong. What seemed like the beginning of a normal day turned into a wake-up call, and perhaps this same warning could apply to you too. The scariest part is that this situation is not isolated. Every day, millions of seniors repeat small morning habits that seem harmless but in reality are deteriorating their physical strength, harming their circulation, accelerating aging, and increasing the risk of falls, accidents, and heart problems. Simple actions that happen within the first minutes of the day can define whether someone will have vitality and independence or be left vulnerable to the passage of time. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 biggest mistakes seniors make when waking up and, most importantly, I'll show you how to correct them in a simple and practical way so you can enjoy more energy, balance, freedom, and mental clarity at every stage of your life. Stay with me until the end, because the 5th mistake is the most dangerous of all, and almost no one talks about it yet. It's silently destroying the health of thousands of people. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to receive more content that can truly transform your life. And comment down below, "Today I choose to protect my strength and health every day." This affirmation seals your commitment to a stronger and more conscious life. Imagine the scene. You wake up, open your eyes, and almost without thinking, you throw your body out of bed. It's automatic. It's part of the routine for millions of people around the world, and most have never stopped to consider the risks this action carries. But what seems like simple haste can actually be the first step toward falls, fractures, hospitalizations, or even serious cardiovascular events. Especially after the age of 60, when the circulatory system no longer reacts as quickly, getting up abruptly becomes a silent danger that many only realize when it's too late. Throughout the night, the body remains at rest for several hours. Blood circulates more slowly, blood pressure naturally drops, and muscles are fully relaxed. When you wake up and get up without giving your body time to readjust, you provoke a sudden drop in blood pressure, a phenomenon known as orthostatic hypotension. This abrupt drop prevents blood from reaching the brain quickly, causing dizziness, blurred vision, weakness in the legs, and even fainting. Many seniors, even healthy ones, experience falls in their own bedrooms shortly after waking, simply because they do not allow for this adjustment period. The most dangerous part is that this morning weakness does not announce itself. Sometimes it's just a slight dimming of vision, a small imbalance, a brief moment of shortness of breath. And because it seems minor, many people ignore it until the inevitable happens. Statistics are clear. Morning falls are one of the main causes of serious fractures and hospitalizations among seniors. And the most tragic part is that many of them could be avoided with simple actions in the first minutes of the day. In the ancient wisdom of Buddhist monks, waking up is considered a sacred ritual. They teach that the way you awaken sets the tone for your entire day and, over time, your entire life. For them, the body must be called to consciousness, slowly, in stages, respecting the natural flow of circulation and vital energy. Moving your fingers, breathing deeply, gently stretching while still lying down. These are practices monks have used for centuries to preserve vitality, stability, and mental clarity even at advanced ages. And modern science confirms today, this approach drastically reduces the risk of falls and cardiovascular problems. What should you do then? When you open your eyes, do not rush. Breathe deeply 2 or 3 times. Gently move your fingers and toes. Rotate your ankles, and wrists. Then slowly roll onto your side and sit on the edge of the bed. Let your feet touch the floor and stay there for at least 20 to 30 seconds, rotating your feet and lightly moving your shoulders. Only then, once you feel steady, stand up slowly and consciously. This small morning ritual, which takes less than 2 minutes, could be what saves you from falls, injuries, and months of recovery. It's the difference between starting the day safely or leaving your fate to chance. During the night, while you sleep, your body continues to work non-stop, heart beating, lungs breathing, cells regenerating. This continuous work consumes water even if you don't notice it. That's why when you open your eyes, your body already wakes up in a state of mild dehydration. Yet many seniors ignore this fact and start the day without hydrating, which triggers a silent chain of problems: thicker blood, compromised circulation, unstable blood pressure, and in the long run, an increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden falls. The major danger is that with age, the natural sensation of thirst decreases, meaning you could be dehydrated without even feeling thirsty. Many people start their day with coffee, medications, or skip drinking fluids, altogether not realizing they are putting even more strain on their circulatory system right from the first hour of the day. And as the blood becomes heavier, the heart has to work harder to pump it, overloading a system that already responds more slowly with age. It's a silent cycle that slowly drains vitality. Let me tell you the story of Mrs. Mary, 76 years old. She always considered herself healthy. She walked regularly, kept her house in order, and led an active life. But over time, she began waking up with headaches, fatigue, and light morning dizziness. She thought it was just normal aging, until one day she fainted in her kitchen shortly after getting up. At the hospital, the diagnosis was surprising: mild dehydration and hypertension. It only took developing the habit of keeping a glass of water by her bedside and drinking it upon waking, and, within a few weeks, her symptoms had almost completely disappeared. Among Buddhist monks, there is an ancient teaching: before the body acts, it must be honored with what sustains it. For them, water is the first nourishment of the day, the liquid vital energy that purifies the body and prepares it for conscious movement. Drinking water upon waking is not just a biological need, it's an act of respect for the temple that is the body. This ancestral wisdom echoes in modern science. Hydrating immediately upon waking improves circulation, stabilizes blood pressure, and enhances mental clarity. What should you do then? Before thinking about coffee, news, or social media, drink water. Keep a glass nearby, within easy reach. If it's difficult, start with small sips. If you like, add a few drops of lemon to naturally stimulate your digestive system. And remember, thirst is a delayed SOS signal from your body. True protection happens before it arrives. This simple daily gesture could be the silent shield that protects your life for decades. For many people, the day truly begins after the first sip of coffee. The aroma, the warmth in your hands, the sensation of waking up. It's almost a sacred ritual. But there's a silent detail that most ignore. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially after age 60, can be one of the worst habits for health. And the most dangerous part is that the damage doesn't appear immediately. It builds up slowly, like an invisible crack that, one day, causes the entire structure to collapse. When you wake up, your body has been fasting for many hours. Blood sugar levels are low, energy reserves are depleted, and your stomach is extremely sensitive. By pouring pure coffee into this environment, you abruptly increase gastric acid production. Without food to protect the stomach walls, this acid starts to attack the inner lining, promoting gastritis, acid reflux, abdominal discomfort, and even ulcers. For those with a history of digestive problems, very common among seniors, this small daily gesture can be the trigger for serious complications. Let me tell you the story of Mr. John, 75 years old. For over 40 years, he kept the same habit: waking up, brewing a strong coffee, and drinking it before anything else. He believed it was the secret to his morning energy. But gradually, he began suffering from stomach pains, chest burning, intestinal irritation, and eventually severe acid reflux. It wasn't until a nutritionist explained the impact of this habit that Mr. Tender, John, changed. He started eating a small, solid food portion before drinking coffee, a banana, a handful of nuts, or a piece of whole grain bread. And within a few weeks, the discomfort he had carried for years simply disappeared. In the wisdom of Buddhist monks, there's a fundamental principle: before stimulating the body, strengthen it. That's why, even during intense spiritual practices, monks eat small, light meals before any strong stimulation to the nervous system. They understand that internal balance is fragile and that vital energy must be respected, not forced. This age-old care protects the stomach, the heart, and even emotional stability, creating a solid foundation for facing the day. What should you do then? Before drinking your morning coffee, consume something light and nutritious. It can be a banana, a handful of nuts, a piece of whole grain bread, or even plain yogurt. It doesn't need to be a big breakfast, just a small base to protect your stomach and balance caffeine absorption. This simple change can not only eliminate silent discomforts, but also improve your mood, your energy, and even your sleep quality over time. Remember, strengthening your body before demanding from it is a form of wisdom that spans centuries. Many people wake up feeling slight stiffness in their legs, shoulders, or back and simply ignore it. They get up, stretch quickly, take a few steps, and continue with their day as if nothing is happening. The problem is that this morning stiffness, so common in people over 60, is not just a passing discomfort, it's a silent signal that the body needs more care, especially in the first minutes of the day. Ignoring this warning can increase the risk of strains, muscle injuries, and falls, which for seniors can have serious and lasting consequences. During sleep, our body remains almost motionless for hours. Muscles stay relaxed, circulation slows down, and synovial fluid, the lubricant for the joint, settles, making movements feel stiff upon waking. If you try to move too quickly without giving time for this natural lubrication to normalize, you end up forcing muscles and joints that are still asleep. This sets the perfect scene for small tears, sprains, and imbalances that can lead to dangerous falls. All of this happens silently, often without immediate pain, but the damage accumulates and can show up later. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret, 79 years old. Always active, she loved getting up early and taking care of the house. However, she began to feel her legs heavy when waking up, yet insisted on walking quickly to the bathroom. Until one day, her knees locked up, she lost her balance, and fell sideways, hitting her hip on the edge of the bed. Fortunately, there was no fracture, but Mrs. Margaret spent weeks afraid to get up alone, depending on help for small tasks, all because she didn't respect the time her body needed to fully awaken. In the philosophy of Buddhist monks, there is an essential principle called conscious awakening. They teach that when you wake up, the body and mind are still in a transitional state between the world of rest and the world of action. Moving hastily is seen as a disrespect to one's physical nature. Thus, they dedicate a few minutes to gentle movements, light stretches, and deep breathing before any intense activity. This ritual preserves not only physical health, but also mental energy and emotional stability throughout the day. What should you do then? When you wake up, allow a few minutes for your body to adapt. Still lying down, move your fingers and toes, gently rotate your ankles, and slowly stretch your arms above your head. Sit on the edge of the bed, carefully stretch your back, and move your neck gently from side to side. These small gestures activate circulation, prepare your joints, and strengthen the neuromuscular system for the day ahead. Spending just 2 or 3 minutes on this practice could add years of autonomy, balance, and quality of life. It's your body asking for a little more respect and offering, in return, lasting vitality. Now we arrive at the most dangerous mistake of all. The one that seems small and subtle but silently steals your strength, your stability, your breathing, and even your confidence. Many people don't even realize they're making it because it settles in so subtly, like an invisible habit, but over the years, it becomes one of the main factors for falls, loss of mobility, and physical frailty. And perhaps, without realizing it, you repeat it every morning. The mistake is simple: not caring about posture upon waking. Many seniors get up with their bodies hunched, shoulders slumped forward, head down, and torso collapsed. It's a posture that, besides projecting an image of weakness, collapses breathing, compresses internal organs, and unbalances the body's center of gravity. In other words, you start the day breathing poorly, moving with less balance, and forcing your joints and muscles incorrectly. All of this exponentially increases the risk of dizziness, tripping, and accidents during the first hours of the day. This poor morning posture causes profound and invisible consequences. The compression of the rib cage reduces blood oxygenation, and less oxygen means less energy, more fatigue, and greater mental confusion. Additionally, a hunched torso alters bowel function, slowing digestion and promoting problems like bloating, gas, and constipation. And it doesn't stop there. Studies show that posture directly influences mood and memory. The more hunched you are, the greater the tendency towards sadness, discouragement, and insecurity. All of this starts silently with the first steps you take when you get out of bed. Let me tell you about Mrs. Helen, 81 years old. She had always been active, enjoyed walking, loved reading, and cherished talking with her family. But over time, without realizing it, she began getting up already hunched over, looking down at the ground. First came light dizziness, then a minor trip at home. Eventually, a fall that left her unable to walk properly for months. All because her body, bent over every morning upon waking, slowly lost its center of balance and ability to react quickly to small missteps. What seemed like just a way of walking was actually the silent sign that something much bigger was at risk. In the philosophy of Buddhist monks, posture is considered the physical expression of vital energy. For them, when you wake up, rising with a straight spine, aligned shoulders, and eyes looking forward is a gesture of respect for life and your own path. This body awareness is not about vanity, it's about health. It preserves the integrity of muscles, bones, breathing, and even the mind. Moving with presence and dignity upon waking is one of the secrets to aging strong, lucid, and independent. What should you do then? Before standing up, while still sitting on the edge of the bed, stretch your spine as if you were trying to grow a few centimeters. Take a deep breath, pull your shoulders back, and keep your chin parallel to the floor. When placing your feet on the ground, keep your torso upright and your gaze at eye level, never toward the floor. Every step you take in the first few minutes of the morning should be made consciously, feeling your whole body working in harmony. This simple posture adjustment not only protects your physical strength, but also feeds your mental clarity, confidence, and connection to life itself. Never underestimate the power of your first movements of the day. The way you get up each morning is shaping the way you will age. And more than that, It's shaping your ability to remain free, independent, and a liver not just in body, but also in mind and spirit. Correcting your posture is a gift you give yourself every single day, and in the future, it will make all the difference. Maybe after hearing all of this, you thought, "Oh, but I've always done these things, and nothing bad has happened." That's a very common and completely human reaction. When we've had a habit for years, our brain creates a false sense of security. It believes that because nothing bad has happened yet, nothing will. But the human body doesn't work that way. The body is like a bridge that gradually accumulates invisible cracks until, one day, without warning, it gives way. The great trap of time is that it acts silently. Many bad habits don't cause immediate effects. They slowly wear down your circulatory system, your balance, your muscle strength, and your ability to react. On the outside, everything seems fine. But inside, tiny imbalances, small injuries, slight declines in adaptability accumulate, undermining the foundation that sustains your independence. And when the first major scare happens to fall, a heart attack, a fainting spell, it feels like it happened suddenly, when, in reality, it was the result of years ignoring subtle signs. In many Eastern traditions, including among Buddhist monks, there is a very wise phrase: "What you do today, silently, builds or destroys your tomorrow." Small acts of care, small gestures of respect for your body, are like invisible seeds planted every day. And just like a tree takes years to grow or to rot, your body also accumulates, silently, the impact of your daily choices. That's why, when we talk about morning habits, we're not talking about something silly, we're talking about your future freedom. If up until today you got out of bed any way you wanted, ignored hydration, drank coffee on an empty stomach, or moved too quickly, this does not condemn you. On the contrary, the human body is incredible in its ability to regenerate when you start doing the right things. Small changes today can interrupt silent processes that, if left unchecked, would bring painful limitations tomorrow. It's like changing the direction of a ship. At first, the course change seems tiny, almost invisible, but over time, it leads you to a completely different destination. So, before thinking it won't happen to me, ask yourself, what kind of future do I want to build from now on? Because it doesn't matter how old you are, 60, 70, 80. Truth is that, as long as there is life, there is still time to do things differently. And every small act of care you adopt today is a silent investment in your freedom, strength, and joy to live for many years to come. If you've made it this far, you've already proven that you are different. While many continue repeating the same habits without thinking or questioning, you chose to do the hardest thing: seek awareness. And that is the true beginning of any transformation. The simple act of understanding how your small daily actions shape your future already puts you on the path to longevity, vitality, and freedom. Because it's not time that determines how we agates the choices we make every day. Now you know. What seems small: getting up slowly, hydrating upon waking, eating before coffee, minding your posture, and first movements is actually enormous. These details, ignored by so many, are the silent foundation that preserves your strength, balance, and independence. And believe me, no one truly understands the importance of these things until the day they are missing. But you don't have to wait for that moment. You already have, right now, the power to change the course of your story. Each morning is a new opportunity to plant vitality, balance, and protection for your future. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be radical. It just needs to begin with respect for the body that sustains you, the life that pulses within you, and the story that still wants to be lived with joy and freedom. And the more you honor these small moments, the more your body will respond with energy, lightness, and presence. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom, silent strength, and inner peace. If anything we talked about today touched your heart, know that it wasn't by accident. The universe always places signs along our path. We just need to be attentive to see them. And perhaps this video was your sign. The reminder that your story is still being written and that you have every right to write it with awareness, love, and strength. Your body is your first home, and every gesture of care is a way of thanking it for everything it has already given you. So now, I invite you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to receive content that will help you build an even fuller life. And comment down below. I choose to take care of my health every day, starting with the small things. This phrase is more than just a comment, it's a commitment to the future you deserve to live.